I just replaced $200 of monthly SaaS subscriptions with Hermes Agent running a free open source AI model on a $6 VPS. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly the 5 prompts that I gave to my Hermes Agent so that it gives me a 7 a.m. morning brief every day, watches my competitors' landing pages for changes, monitors 10 YouTube channels within my niche, researches anything I throw at it, and listens for new leads around the clock. So you can stop bleeding $200 a month on tools that don't talk to each other, buy back your time, and turn a $6 VPS into an AI employee that works while you sleep, even if you've never touched a VPS before. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Jimmy Barkway. I run a profitable AI startup, and I share everything I learn right here for you on this channel. So if you haven't already, grab yourself a fresh cup of tea and let's dive straight in. I'm going to show you how to set up Hermes Agent on a VPS using free open source models and how to set it up to run your business for you. SaaS subscriptions are dying as AI grows, and there are 5 subscriptions that you can run all on your Hermes Agent server: competitor monitoring, AI news briefs, YouTube analytics, research tools, and your outreach stack. I'm going to show you how to set up all of that. Each one has its own cost. Each one stacks up over time. And with today's AI, they're all completely unnecessary. Why have we chosen Hermes Agent over something like OpenClaw or Claude Code? Well, Hermes is something that learns over time. It improves its skills on autopilot. And when you compare that to something like OpenClaw, OpenClaw doesn't have the best search built into it. It doesn't have self-improving skills. And every time OpenAI drops a new update, my OpenClaw tends to break. All my cron jobs stop working. It's a mess. For Hermes Agent, I'm going to show you exactly how to install Firecrawl, which is the best AI search tool that I can give to you. Hermes Agent is going to have skill improvement built in by default, and Hermes has way more updates than OpenClaw, and none of them are breaking any of my setups. I'm going to show you how to replace all of these SaaS subscriptions. 1 server, 5 prompts, no subscriptions anymore. Let's go. Now, I've put together a Notion guide which has all of the prompts, all the terminal commands, all the setup, everything you're going to need to follow along with this video. And it also has a ton on troubleshooting in case you get stuck. And to find that, go to the first link in the description. That'll take you into my community. Come to the classroom, and then you've got the AI vault in the middle. Just follow the llama. At the top here, we've got 5 Hermes prompts that killed my $200 SaaS. And down the bottom, we've got your Notion guide in the resources right there, and that'll bring you to here. Now, I'm using Hostinger to set up Hermes Agent. Reason being, 1, because they have a one-click install, making it dead easy to set up. 2, because they're dead cheap. And 3, they are really reliable and they have amazing support. That'll be the second link down in the description. You can select your VPS plan right here. KVM2 is more than enough to run your Hermes Agent, and that'll future-proof you as well. Just hit deploy. The longer period you commit to, the more you will save. You can go for a daily auto backup, but if you are happy with the default, which is a weekly auto backup, that will already be set up for you in the Hostinger backend. You don't need to do anything for that. So if you're happy with weekly, don't bother with daily. And then choose a server location that is closest to where you are. For me, that is UK. And you can type in JIMI, Jimmy, for your coupon code, and that'll knock 10% off. Then just hit continue. Once you go through the setup, it'll bring you to something like this. How would you like to set up Hermes? You can do a quick setup or a full setup. Highly recommend you go for the quick setup. That will give you everything you need to walk through today, and it will get you up nice and quickly, obviously. Just press enter. And then you want to select your provider. So we're going to go for a free open source model today. Reason we're not using something like Claude Opus 4.7 is because using that as your personal assistant is like hiring Albert Einstein to be your personal PA. Obviously, he's a lot more capable than that, and he should be doing things that are way, way cooler. So come down until you find Ollama Cloud. Press enter, and then we're going to need to get an Ollama API key. And you can get that by going to ollama.com, and I'll bring you straight here. Ollama let you run free open source AI models directly on your machine or through their cloud. And they make the whole thing really easy. So the difference between those two is if you're running on your own machine, then it's using your hardware, whether it's your VPS or your laptop. The hardware better be good because most of these AI models require some serious hardware. Or you can run it on Ollama Cloud, which has a free tier, and that's what we're going to be using today. And that's going to allow you to run some of the best open source AI models without needing a commercial volume of RAM on your machine. We're talking hundreds of gigabytes for some of these really good models. Ollama Cloud lets you run it on their servers, their machines, instead of your own. And it also replies really quickly. Now, before we get our API key, I just want to show you this. So the model we're using today is Gemma 4. This is Google's latest open source model. It is really lightweight, really fast, and it's got loads of great benefits that I'll show you in just a second. And you can run that on Ollama's free tier. If you want to invest a little budget in this and spend $20 a month, mind you, that is still hundreds or thousands of dollars cheaper every month than running something like Claude Opus for Hermes agents. So just bear that in mind. But if you did want to apply a little bit of budget to this, then you can go for models like DeepSeek V4 or Qwen 3.6, which are two of the latest next-gen open source models, which are only available on the $20 a month plan. That being said, Gemma 4 is more than capable as your personal AI assistant, and it's still an amazing model. It's super lightweight, unlike those other two models I just mentioned, which need crazy hardware. This is incredibly lightweight. Gemma 4 has 4 different models packaged into Gemma 4 that you can choose from. E2B and E4B, you can run these on most smartphones. 26B and 31B, much more intelligent, way better reasoning, but you need better hardware. Still not crazy hardware. Like you can run 26B on something with 32 gigabytes of RAM, and you can run 31B on something with 64 gigs of RAM quite comfortably and still use other apps at the same time. But what we're going to do today is run the best Gemma 4 model, 31B, using Ollama's cloud servers so that we don't have to run it on our own machine. We get maximum speed and the highest amount of reasoning and intelligence from our model. Really good for agentic workflows, multimodal reasoning, which means it can understand audio, video, text, supports hundreds of languages, and you can see how lightweight this is with the total model size at the bottom. And you can think of this like its reasoning score, intelligence score, how good the model is along the left. Gemma 4 has a fantastic balance between the two, super lightweight, not quite as intelligent as things like Kimi and Gwen, but still more than capable to be your personal AI assistant. It's a fantastic model. And you can see here some benchmark differences between each of Gemma 4's models. Down here, we've got E2B, E4B, which you can run on your smartphone, but you can see the reasoning is just nowhere near as good as 31B. So to set this up on your Hermes agent, you just need to come to the top right, hit settings and keys, then add API key, call it whatever you like, generate, copy, and it's come back over to our Hermes setup. And you can paste that in there. If it doesn't show up, that's fine. It is there, I promise. And just press enter. Now for the base URL, you just want to enter what you can see right there, and that's going to be the right URL for Ollama's cloud models. Paste that, press enter. Now you can see all the different open source models available through Ollama. You want to come down until you get to Gemma 4 31B and press enter. You can leave this as a default, just keep current. Do I want to set up messaging? Yes, I do. This is where we're going to set up our Hermes agent on Telegram. The reason I like to use Telegram is because they have a beautifully built API, which makes this really simple. So just press space to select, but you can also see all the different ways that you can talk to your Hermes agent. I just recommend Telegram for speed, and then press enter. Now you're going to need to get a Telegram bot token. And to do that, just come into your Telegram, and we're going to look for this guy, the botfather. Just hit the search button, type in botfather, and then type in /help. And that's going to give you all the commands that you can use with the botfather. And then just type in /new bot, call it whatever you like. Now the username has to end in bot. It can't have any spaces, and it needs to be something unique. Cool. Now that we've got that, we have our API token, which you can just click to copy. And then before we paste that into Hermes, just click this to open the chat, press start. Hey Hermes, how are you doing? Just send off a message like that, and that's going to wake up your Telegram bot. If you skip this step, Hermes is not going to be able to use Telegram, and you will run into problems, I promise you. Now that we have our bot token, just paste that in there. Again, it won't show up. That's fine. Press enter. Now for your user ID. This is the ID that is unique to your Telegram accounts. You must never show anybody this or they will have full access to your Telegram. You need to get this from Telegram, give it to Hermes so that it can talk to you through Telegram. And once you give it this user ID, that means only Hermes can talk to you and only you can talk to Hermes through your Telegram. It means no one else can talk to Hermes. No one can do any prompt injections, violate your security or anything of that nature. So come back to Telegram, type in user info bot. That'll bring you here. Just press start. It will give you your Telegram ID. And then you just need to paste that back into Hermes agent. And then it'll ask you to confirm and you're golden. Now we can launch our Hermes agent. You just press Y and return. And we are in Hermes and you can see Gemma 431B right there waiting for you. Now we're going to install the tool that makes all of these prompts work. That is called Firecrawl. Firecrawl is the #1 scraper and web search tool for AI agents on the internet that I know of. Search the web and get full content from results, scrape a specified URL, output the content from the page, or crawl through an entire website and get all of the content, search data really quickly. And to set this up, just come back into your Notion guide. Hermes skills inspect Firecrawl is the command that we need. And to find a place to enter this command, we need to come to our hosting a backend, which you will have access to once you've set up your VPS. And this open button right here is going to take you into Hermes. And this terminal button right here will take you into the Docker container terminal, which is where Hermes lives. So this is where you can make changes to your Hermes agent using terminal commands. Dead easy. All we're doing is copy and pasting. So we want to put in Hermes skills inspect Firecrawl. And that's going to show us that Firecrawl is installed as a skill because it comes by default. It's just not activated yet. Then we can install the skill by putting in Hermes skills install Firecrawl -- force. That's going to install our Firecrawl agent. And finally, we need to come into Firecrawl, go to your dashboard, and you have your API key right there. Now we need to take this config command and just copy this first part. And we're going to replace this with your API key. Bang in that command. And then you'll see your Firecrawl API key is set. Now we can come into Telegram and actually talk to our Hermes agent and get all of these prompts set up. Hey Hermes, are you there? Hey, I'm here and ready to help. Use help to see a list of available commands. How can I assist you today? I want you to tell me what AI model is powering you. And then I want you to confirm that Firecrawl is installed and good to go. Yeah, it's telling me it doesn't have the Firecrawl CLI installed, which is the command line interface. We've actually set up the already integrated Firecrawl agent, so it doesn't need to use the CLI. And it does have our API installed. So let's give it a go. Every weekday at 7 a.m., use Firecrawl to fetch these 3 sources and pick the top 3 stories worth my time. We've got Y Combinator, The Rundown, and ProductHunt.com. One for each story. I want a 1-line headline, 1 line why it matters, 1 line action. Send the whole brief to me on Telegram. Schedule this as a cron job, which is already done. Every weekday at 7 a.m., I will scan Hacker News, The Rundown, and Product Hunt, pick the top 3 stories, and send you a concise brief on Telegram. And you saw how quick that was. That was like seconds, thanks to Olama's cloud open source models. Number 2, daily at 9 a.m., use the Firecrawl skill to scrape these 3 competitor pages. I've put in Claude, ChatGPT, and Google AI subscriptions so I can monitor their pricing over time. But feel free to swap out these URLs with as many competitors as you want to be monitoring. You can put in their features pages, you can put in their home pages, their pricing pages. The sky is the limit here. You're not just limited to pricing. Save today's snapshot in memory. Tell me about any new tiers, feature changes, as well as a ton of cool stuff in there. Just pause the video if you want to read through. Scheduled. Your competitor pricing watch is set for daily at 9. I'll monitor Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google for material pricing or feature changes, update the snapshots in memory, and only alert you on Telegram if a meaningful change is detected. Boom! Up next, we have prompt number 3, the YouTube content radar. This is going to monitor 10 or more YouTube channels. Now just swap these out to the YouTube channel link of the channels that you want to follow. Here's one I made earlier. Every 6 hours, use the web tool to fetch each of these YouTube RSS feeds. Pass each feed for each upload from the last 24 hours, score 1 to 10 against topics. just before we do that, we're going to save these topics as topics of interest for you within Hermes Agent. So just come back into your terminal within your Hermes Docker, paste that in with all the terms and topics that you want to be monitoring, and press enter. And now back in Telegram, you can send off this prompt and it'll monitor all of the YouTube channels that you want. Scheduled, your AI YouTube monitor is now active. Every 6 hours, I'll scan the RSS feeds of these 10 channels, score recent uploads against your topics in topics.txt that we just set up, and alert you on Telegram only if a high-scoring video with a unique or missed angle is found. Up next, a self-improving research agent. Hermes Agent now has Firecrawl, one of the most powerful search tools and scraping tools, but we need to teach it how to use it properly. So we're going to save a new skill called Research Critique. Did the brief cite at least 3 primary sources? Was each claim load-bearing, as in would removing it weaken the argument? Was the strongest counter-argument acknowledged? Where was the prose vague, hedging, or padded? When I say research this, do the following. Use the Firecrawl skill to gather the top 10 sources for that subject. Write a 5-paragraph brief. Open Research Critique. Read the rubric. Score your own brief 1 to 10. Append 1 new lesson at the bottom of the Research Critique Markdown file based on what you scored lowest. Reply with a brief and the appended lesson, and then confirm this skill is saved. Go for it, Hermes. Skill Research Critique has been saved and is now ready for use. Whenever you say research this, I will follow that rubric, self-score, update my lessons, and deliver the brief to you. Hey Hermes, I'm a big fan of my Hydro Flask bottle, but I kind of want you to research what are the best alternatives to this on the market that I can buy in the UK right now, and then give me the brief using that skill we just set up. So you can see it's using the skill we just set, and it's running the task. When looking for a Hydro Flask alternative in the UK, the market splits between lifestyle aesthetics and rugged utility. It's giving me those 5 paragraphs that I asked for and appended a lesson at the end. Always provide explicit inline citations for a source list in the final deliverable, even if the synthesis phase was comprehensive. And it's then updating its own skill with that appended lesson. Ultimately, the best UK alternative depends on trade-off between performance and ethics. While Thermos remains the gold standard for heat retention, Ocean Bottle offers a compelling value proposition by funding the removal of 1,000 plastic bottles from the ocean for every bottle sold. Finally, we have prompt number 5, the 24/7 lead gen listener. For this, you can swap these out for Reddit pages within your niche. Here's one I made earlier. Every 30 minutes, use the Firecrawl skill to scan these public sources for posts when someone is stuck on a problem in my niche. I asked Claude to put together a bit of information about my ideal customer profile, things that it's absolutely going to skip. And then for each match, draft a value first reply with these 3 rules: 1 paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences max, no M dashes, no AI trace tropes like delve or leverage or in today's fast-paced world. Send the draft to my Telegram. If I tap approve, append the approved text to your memory. And if I tap edit, prompt me for the edit in chat, then re-show the inline keyboard. If I tap skip, you can go ahead and skip and move on. Schedule this every 30 minutes and confirm the next runtime. Scheduled, your AI business lead gen monitor is now active. Every 30 minutes, I will scan those 5 subreddits, filter for your specific ICP and problems, and then draft that value first peer reply. So there you have it, 5 Hermes prompts that completely replace $200 a month of SaaS subscriptions, all run on a $6 hosting of VPS using free open source Gemma 4 models by Google through Olama's cloud. So you don't need to run any of this on your own system either. All running on your AI personal assistant, Hermes Agent, that builds skills over time and gets better and more personalized to you. Thanks for watching. YouTube is going to show you what video to watch next.